All right, so if you haven't heard, Jennifer Lopez and Alex Rodriguez have announced their breakup in a Today exclusive. Apparently, there's a $1.8 million engagement ring that has yet to be returned, and I'm waiting for Jennifer Lopez to do her best Anthony Edwards impression and say of Alex Rodriguez, I don't know who that is. That's what I can't wait to have happen. All right, so in honor of that, and in lieu of any better ideas for this segment on a fairly slow Thursday, the most memorable breakups in NFL history not involving $1.8 million diamond rings. Myles, give me one.
Okay, well, the first one I think is very obvious, and that is Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. And look, this was very important because it just resulted in the most recent Super Bowl that we saw. And I think when you're together for as long as Tom Brady and Bill Belichick were together, that's a really weird thing to see Tom Brady go to a different uniform, first of all. And Tom Brady, for my entire football consciousness, had been the Patriots quarterback. And then to win a Super Bowl with the next team, that's wild, man. That's so wild to me.
For me, it's Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers. The way that whole thing went down, I still believe to this day that the Packers went to Brett Favre in February of 2008 and said to him, we need to know now what you're going to do this year, because they knew if they pressed him then, he would say, I'm retiring. They knew him well enough to know how he ebbs and flows and comes and goes. And in February, March, April, May, June, he wants nothing to do with it. When July rolls around and that smell of the grass, late summer gets in the air, that's when he's interested in playing. And that's exactly what happened. It's exactly what happened. And it set the stage for a horrific divorce. And he ultimately ended up back with the Vikings after a year with the Jets. And I remember that first game at Lambeau Field. Every time he was on the field, he was booed, he was booed, he was booed. That, to me, was a ridiculously ugly and avoidable breakup.
It was, and I don't necessarily remember it as well as you do, of course. I mean, you were older than me then, and you still are now. But I think that that was something that could have maybe been avoided. Yes, I know, until you die. But anyway, let's just move on to my next pick, which is going to be the city of Cleveland and Art Modell. And I can't imagine why I would possibly say this, right? Well, let me tell you something here, Mike. The Cleveland Browns were my birthright, okay? I was in the womb in the dog pound. And for Art Modell to take my team away from me and put it in Baltimore, where they then won 2 Super Bowls, right? The first Super Bowl I remember was from 1999 with The Greatest Show on Turf. The next one I remember was the one from 2001 where the Patriots won, because my mother would not let me watch the Ravens possibly win a Super Bowl, because that's how horrible it was for our family. So I gotta just say, Art Modell, man, not happy with you, all right? And I'm, rest in peace and all that. But the fact that my team, my birthright team, got taken away, and the Browns were atrocious, basically, for my entire football consciousness until last year, boy, it stings, just stings.
I'm glad you threw in the rest in peace. I mean, you said everything but Art Modell, go to hell. Oh, wait, you're already there. Good Lord. All right. We don't know that he's there. I personally believe there is no hell, but that's a different topic altogether. All right. Jerry Jones, Jimmy Johnson, their divorce in early 94. And it wasn't that early in 94. It was in like late March, early April, a very late juncture of the offseason to be replacing your head coach. But for whatever reason, they couldn't get along, Myles, and it's a shame because they may have won 4 in a row if they could have found a way to get those 2 egos to coexist.
They could have, but then they still did win a Super Bowl with Barry Switzer. Not that I remember it, but, I think that that's still awesome for that particular team, that you can still say you won another championship. But who knows what would have happened if Jimmy Johnson had been able to stay there and they could coexist.
Let me mention one more. Randy Moss had not one but 2 ugly divorces with the Vikings. First, they abruptly trade him after the 2004 season, I think it was. And then when they traded for him in 2010, remember, he got fired because he said of the food in the locker room, I wouldn't feed this crap to my dog.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.